Morning. Happy Friday. Today is June 5th and we are changing it up again today with the custom bicycle building. I said I was going to start at the head tube and work our way back part by part, but we are jumping straight to the back today because we're working on my personal tail dragger. What we're going to do is remove this twist shift, which is currently running through the frame into the rear hub, and we're going to install this billet shifter here, which is made by Lawless bicycles. Beautiful shifter. This end here basically replaces the Nexus 3, and you don't have that plastic twist shift. This goes up over the top. We're going to mount it right around this area, link everything through, give it a try. This was designed originally for the Nexus 3. We're going to install it on the Sturmey Archer. So basically it's going to come down to gear ratio. I have no idea if it's going to work. Jack's either going to love me or hate me for doing this, but we're going to find out here in a minute. So let's go ahead and move this camera up and let's get things started. I wanted to touch on a couple things before we get started. One of them is this rear hub here. This is the Sturmey Archer 170, which is the 170 millimeter dropout spacing, almost a must for any 5-inch wheels. People get a little intimidated by this linkage here. We'll go through that and take it apart. We'll also calibrate it with the new suicide shift that's going to go right here. The other thing I want to touch on is this park stand. Yes, it's plenty strong enough. However, this is a big bike. A lot of weight in the rear end there, so I've got the stool there to keep it from pivoting. And lastly, I want to talk about this tool here, also by Park Tool, and it's doing exactly what it should be doing, and that's keeping the bars from swinging. I'll scratch up your frame, have the wheel flop, so on. I had people ask me about this shift unit. Could look intimidating to some, kind of a bizarre concept. Been around for a long time, nothing new for Sturmey Archer. It's just one of those things where if it's not broke, why fix it? I'm going to start by disconnecting this. This here is a tensioner, and between this here and this, you find your sweet spot when calibrating. This is a stop nut here. We're going to back this off. This sleeve here, threads. We're going to unthread it until it comes apart. Like that. You see here, this is threaded, goes inside, and that's what creates your tension or lack of tension. This here, this chain threads inside the axle. Again, kind of bizarre. We don't need to remove it to do what we're doing today, but I'll go ahead and pull it out so you can see what's going on. That pin, threads on the end. And again, I want to talk about bizarre. You shove it in the axle and you're literally spinning the chain until those threads inside grab. So you pull, look, see, it's got it. You tighten it down until it stops, then you got to back it off so that it's facing forward. Let's go ahead and remove the cable from the clamp. We're going to size up the cable for the suicide shifter and keep it moving. Pulling the camera in a little closer, as this here needs to be removed. It's held on by a nut in order for the cable to pass through here. Also, this needs to be installed on the new suicide shifter. So that's our next step. And here's where we are so far. Got the shifter clamped on. I put this little small piece of monster tape in there in case this doesn't work out. I'm not scarring up the powder coat. Zip tied the old cable out of the way. This here I had to tweak a little bit. Don't be afraid to tweak things. I mean, I had to pull this out and I had to tweak this back a little bit so that everything runs in line, and this cable is going to be all of about 6 inches. Tell you a quick story, true story. When I was first getting into building bicycles, mainly over-the-counter bikes, beach cruisers, for the most part Electras, I used to hit up my local bike shop here, and the owner of that shop, Peter, who I owe a great deal of thank you for his mentoring and knowledge over the years, and we've become quite good friends since. In those days, there weren't a whole lot of options for suicide shifters. And we were experimenting back in the day, and we were purchasing these old school Bendix shifters that were designed to mount on your top bar as a mount on the back. We do very much the same as I'm doing here, where we mount it on the stay. And where I'm going with the story is the travel for the cable between the shifter and the rear hub is pretty much what you're looking at now. We thought it'd look kind of cool, and I think Peter came up with this, to run the cable without the housing. Kind of an industrial look, something different, and it works. So, I'm gonna give this a try. I'm not sure if it's going to work with this. Obviously, today's components are much more temperamental, but if it works out, I'm not running cable housing here. Gonna look cool. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. So here's where we're at. This cable feeds through the pinhole here. You can see how it slides back and forth. And once you get everything snug or hand tight, like that, you'll tighten it down with this nut. Normally, this area here aids in calibration with the cable housing, but because I'm not using cable housing, it's really not going to be doing anything. So it'll be interesting to see if I can get enough calibration or adjustment out of this alone. I have it threaded on with just a few threads. We'll get everything tight. I'll start tightening it down and see if we can find a happy medium. There you have it. Pretty much went through all the gears. 1, 2, 3, did downshift, 3, 2, 1, no issues. Also started and stopped in each gear, starting in first gear, starting in second gear, starting in third gear, no issues. Haven't taken it on the road yet. It's not uncommon for things to move a little bit and need some fine-tuned calibration. Once you get some torque on this, no big deal. Also wanted to touch on the fact that I said these were available through Lawless Bicycles, and the shifter covers are currently on the website. The actual apparatus that replaces the twist shift are not. Jack is fine-tuning them as we speak, and they will be on the website soon. At the end of the day, you heard my story about buying vintage shifters with my bike guy and experimenting with raw cable. We did some more experimenting with this episode, not knowing if this was going to work. It worked out. Do not be afraid to take chances. If it works out, you have something unique. That's pretty much gonna wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed today's version of what's happening in cycles. And until next time, make it a killer day.